Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into something that's hiding in plain sight in your crypto wallet. It's this secret superpower, a security layer that goes way beyond your normal recovery phrase. You might have heard it called the 13th or the 25th word. And trust me, it could totally change how you think about keeping your crypto safe. So you've done everything right. You've backed up your 12, maybe 24-word recovery phrase, you've stored it somewhere super secure, and you think you're all set. But what if those words aren't actually the whole story? What if they're just one piece of a much bigger security puzzle? Well, it turns out there is a secret, and it's built right into the protocol that most crypto wallets use. It's called BIP39. And this protocol allows for this optional, really powerful extension to your recovery phrase that, honestly, most people don't even know exists. Okay, the best way to get your head around this is to think of a safe deposit box. Your regular 12-word recovery phrase, that's the physical key. It gets you to your box. But this extra feature, it's like adding a totally separate invisible combination lock on the box itself. And without that combination, the key alone is pretty much useless. All right, so what is this secret combination lock? Officially, it's called a passphrase. And the way the BIP39 standard defines it is really specific and incredibly powerful. So a passphrase is basically a secret word, a sentence, any string of characters that you make up and you memorize. Now, what's so critical to understand is that this passphrase is not stored anywhere, not on your device, not anywhere. And when you use it with your recovery phrase, it doesn't just unlock your wallet, it actually generates a completely new, totally separate, hidden one. And this is where things get a little weird. You see, with this system, any passphrase you type in is considered correct. There are no wrong answers. Every single possible passphrase, whether it's password 123 or some crazy random string of characters, will generate a valid, unique wallet. Of course, that wallet will be empty unless you've actually sent crypto to it. So you've got two totally different paths here. On one side, if you just use your recovery phrase, it generates one specific 512-bit seed, and that leads to your main wallet. But if you add a passphrase, any passphrase at all, it creates a completely different 512-bit seed, which then creates a totally separate wallet. They are mathematically unrelated, even though they both came from the same 12 words. Okay, so that's a cool technical trick, but you're probably asking, why does this actually matter? Well, this little feature gives you two security superpowers that are, frankly, absolute game changers. First, it acts as a true second factor of security. If someone steals your physical recovery phrase, it's totally useless to them without the passphrase that's only in your head. And second, and this is where it gets really clever, it gives you something called plausible deniability. You can literally create a decoy wallet to protect your real funds if you're ever in a worst-case scenario. Here's how that strategy would work. The wallet you access with just your recovery phrase becomes your decoy, or duress wallet. You keep a small, believable amount of crypto in there. Now, if you're ever forced to open your wallet, you give them the recovery phrase. The attacker sees the small amount and thinks they've gotten everything. But all the while, your real nest egg is safe and sound in that hidden wallet, protected by the passphrase only you know. Now, hold on. Before you rush off to set this up, we have to talk about the risks. Because this is an incredibly powerful feature, but with that power comes a massive responsibility. If you mess this up, the consequences are permanent. Let me be absolutely crystal clear on 2 points. First, the passphrase is never, ever stored on your hardware wallet or your computer. It exists only in your memory or where you've backed it up. If you forget it, it's over. There is no recovery. Nobody can help you. Your funds are gone forever. And second, if you write down your passphrase and store it right next to your recovery words, well, you've just completely defeated the whole purpose of having a second factor. So how does all this mathematical magic actually happen? Let's take a quick peek under the hood, just to see why this system is so unbelievably secure. The security really starts with this number right here, 2 to the power of 512. That's how many possible wallets you can create from a single recovery phrase just by using different passphrases. It's a number so ridiculously large, it's more than the estimated number of atoms in the known universe. Trying to guess or just stumble upon someone's wallet is, well, it's mathematically impossible. So here's the quick version of how it works. Your recovery phrase and that optional passphrase get combined to create something called a root seed. That seed is then fed into a cryptographic algorithm, which spits out your master private key and a master chain code. And those two things are the building blocks for your entire wallet, letting you generate a nearly infinite number of addresses, all from that one original secret. So, we've talked about the power, the strategy, and the very real dangers. And that brings us to the most important question of all. Should you actually be using this feature? The bottom line is this. The passphrase is an expert-level tool. It is not something you should use lightly. Before you even think about implementing it, you need an absolutely rock-solid plan for how you're going to back it up and recover it. You need to think about scenarios where you might be incapacitated, and you definitely need a plan for how your family could recover your assets. And that leaves us with one final, really critical thought. It's so easy to get wrapped up in creating this perfectly unhackable security setup for yourself. But a passphrase that only you know is also a single point of failure for your entire crypto inheritance. So as you think about adding this amazing layer of security, you have to ask yourself, is my plan for passing it on just as strong? Thanks for joining me today.